Here's something strange nobody tells you. The reason your life feels stuck might not be a lack of effort. You're praying, you're grinding, you're trying to hold it all together with both hands, and still, the peace won't come, the doors won't open, the heaviness won't lift. What if the problem was never that you're doing too little? What if the problem is the order you're doing it in? Because there's one shift, just one, that changes everything downstream. Not a bigger sacrifice, not more religious effort, just moving God from somewhere in your list to the top of it. And when you do, He starts moving in ways you weren't even asking for. Stay with me all the way through, because the seventh thing He does is the one you'll feel long after this video ends. And it's the reason people say putting God first changed their whole life. Let's get into it. Thing 1, He reorders what you were killing yourself to hold together. Watch what Jesus actually promised. Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. Notice the sequence. Not chase everything and squeeze God in. Seek Him first, and the rest gets added. Most of us have the math backwards. We're out here trying to carry the job, the money, the relationships, the future, all at once, and handing God whatever scraps of attention are left at the end of the day. And then we wonder why it all feels like it's about to collapse. When God goes first, He doesn't just bless the pile, He reorganizes it. Suddenly what mattered too much matters less, and what you were ignoring comes into focus. He was never asking to be added to your life. He was asking to be the center it spins around. Thing 2, He trades your anxiety for a peace that doesn't make sense. Here's the first thing people actually feel when God moves to the top. The noise gets quieter. Philippians 4:6-7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer, bring it to God, and the peace that surpasses understanding will guard your heart. Read that last part slow. A peace that doesn't even make sense. Peace when the bank account says panic. Calm when the situation says chaos. That's not you talking yourself into feeling okay. That's what happens when the weight you were carrying finally has someone bigger holding it. You put Him first, and He becomes the thing standing guard over your mind at 2 a.m. when everything used to spiral. Thing 3, He starts directing steps you couldn't see. This is where it gets almost eerie. Proverbs 3:6. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Put God first, and you stop white-knuckling every decision. That job you didn't get? Redirected? That relationship that fell apart? Protected? The door you kept slamming your shoulder into? He was holding it shut for a reason you couldn't see yet. When He's first, life stops feeling like you're driving through fog with no map. He becomes the map. And looking back 6 months later, you'll see He was steering the whole time. If this is already landing on you, do me a quick favor. Drop God your first in the comments and subscribe, because the next 4 are where it gets personal. Thing 4, He pulls the things you couldn't quit. Here's one nobody expects. When God takes first place, some of your battles start fighting themselves. The habit you've begged Him to take away for years. The thing you keep going back to. You've tried willpower, you've tried rules, and nothing held. But watch, when your love for God grows bigger than your craving, the craving starts to shrink on its own. It's like a dead leaf on a branch in spring. You don't have to rip it off. New life pushes through, and the old thing just falls. Galatians 5:16. Walk by the Spirit, and you won't gratify the desires of the flesh. You don't only fight the sin anymore, you start to outgrow it. Thing 5, He changes what you even want. This one is subtle, and it's beautiful. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. People read that like God's a vending machine for your wish list. It's deeper than that. When you delight in Him first, He doesn't just grant your desires, He rewrites them. The stuff you used to chase loses its grip. The things you used to scroll past start to matter. You stop wanting what was quietly wrecking you and start wanting what actually heals you. That's not you forcing discipline. That's God changing your appetite from the inside. Thing 6, He fixes your relationships without you managing them. Watch what happens to the people around you. When God's not first, you turn people into little gods. You demand your partner, your friend, your family complete you, make you happy, fill the hole. And that's a weight no human can carry, so it crushes the relationship every time. But when God fills that space first, your cup isn't empty anymore. Now you're not draining people for validation, you're pouring into them. Forgiveness gets easier because you remember how much you were forgiven. C.S. Lewis said it best. When he learned to love God first, he loved everyone else better than before. Put God first, and you stop loving people like idols and start loving them like people. Thing 7. He takes the crushing weight off everything else. And here's the big one. The reason people say this changed their entire life. When God is first, nothing else has to carry the impossible weight of being your savior. Think about it. When your career is your God, one bad review destroys you. When your relationship is your God, their bad mood ruins your week. When money is your God, you live in constant fear of losing it. But when God is first, your job is finally allowed to just be a job. Your relationships get to just be relationships. Money becomes a tool, not a terror. Everything else exhales because it was never built to be your everything. And now it doesn't have to be. The center of your life shifts. And when the center changes, every single thing connected to it finally falls into its right place. So that's what starts happening. He reorders your chaos. He trades anxiety for peace. He directs steps you couldn't see. He loosens what you couldn't quit. He rewrites what you want. He heals your relationships. And he lifts the crushing weight off of everything else. Here's the truth. None of this comes from trying harder. It comes from a reorder. Not adding God to a crowded life, but letting him become the center the whole thing turns around. And you don't need a perfect prayer or a big dramatic moment to start. You just need to move him to first place today, right where you are. So try it. 7 days. God first. Before the phone, before the worry, before the grind. And watch what he starts doing. If this stirred something in you, drop God you're first in the comments and mean it. Share it with someone who feels stuck. And subscribe, because we grow closer to him here every week. Put him first. Watch everything else follow.